Okay guys, most of you know me from the travel videos, the vlogs, the city explorer, you know what I mean. But today I want to share something different, something personal. There is a whole story that most people don't know about. And I'm talking about how a guy from Oslo with Moroccan roots ended up working as a football scout for the Moroccan national team. Crazy, right? Let's get into the episode 3 of my life in football. Don't forget to press on that subscribe button, like and comment. Let's get into it. Most of you don't know who I am. I'm not just a travel vlogger exploring cities and traveling around. I also have a background in my past. So early in the childhood, here in Oslo, where I born and raised, I grew up with Moroccan parents who were half Arabic and Berber, with Darija speaking language in my home. I feel blessed that I could have two different cultures to learn from. When you mix them both together, it gets a really good combo, and I'm really thankful for that. Growing with the two different cultures shaped my mindset. Actually, it made me as the person I am today. I remember my childhood as non-interest in sport. Really, there was football, a little bit of football, a little bit of ice hockey, a little bit of basketball, and with experience all of the sports. It wasn't until 97 where I found out about football, started playing a game called Championship Manager, and that's thanks to my big brother who also played the game that made my way easier into football. So growing up playing Football Manager, as it's called today, which were Championship Manager, taught me a lot about football, structuring a team, selling, buying, negotiation and salary, wages, budgets, coaches, and all kind of things to how to manage a team. And I remember later on when the World Cup in France 1998, the draw was made in December, a half year before. That was actually where the love of football started. That's where I really got interested in football and fully invested in to play football and become a better football player. So at the time, I couldn't play football in a team because they were too expensive, and I was a little bit overprotected in my childhood by my parents to not fall into traps, a bad environment. So today, I'm really thankful for that, because when you live in the central Oslo, anything can happen as a young kid. With me playing semi-professional and almost professional in Malta and Cyprus and semi-professional in Norway, that taught me a lot about football and how far I wanted to become as a football player. My career wasn't that impressive. It's nothing to talk about, but the journey made me a whole lot of connection within the football industry. It all started when I was 12 years old. I got into a first team, and then we played, and I started to develop, and I was training extra, and that was my first ever playing in a club and get confidence by scoring goals and getting teammates cheering. First I was playing goalkeeper, and then I was a striker who scored 50 goals in one season, and then I was central midfielder, and then I played a right back and a left back. I was open-minded. I was ready to learn. I was never afraid for new tasks. The only thing I needed is guidance, someone who could help me, guide me through my career and tell me what to do and what not to do. And combined playing Football Manager on computer, which I spent almost 10 hours a day, that taught me a lot about how interesting the journey would be if I work as a manager or scout or as an agent. I can tell that I was never successful with the high potential I already had as a footballer. I didn't have the guidance. I didn't know when something were wrong or if I did any mistakes. No one taught me that. No one told me anything about anything. I was working out 2 to 3 times a day, and I was really working hard, and I believed in it. I really believed in myself, but I also noticed there were a lot of people making jokes, laughing at me, and never had a belief in me until something changed. I got an invitation for a trial in Malta. This is where I saw my teammates changed the energy. They were suddenly my friends, and some of them were never my friends, to be honest with you. Everyone prayed and hoped for a failure. No one wanted Nero to make it through in football. And then I had friends playing abroad, and I had a good friend played in Cyprus, and he told me to come over and go for a trial. And then I did that as well. There was a lot of big stories, I could talk about it later, but that was where my head started to think about how is it to help footballers? How is it to open doors for people who are in need, the same need that I was in? And that's where my desire to help other players came in. I wanted to either start as an agent or a talent scout or a scout. I didn't know 100%, but I just wanted to start somewhere. So I started to firstly watch a lot of football, travel around countries, just to understand the level, what it takes to be a footballer, what it takes to be a player in Italy, in France, Holland, Spain, whatever, the Norwegian top league, the academies. I just wanted to travel around to get references. But at the same time, I started to collect network, phone numbers, email, and I started to present myself as a helper, not a scout, not an agent, maybe an intermediary in the beginning. And here's the funny story, how I started. A role to coach an under-16 team here in Oslo who played in a decent level. And this is where I started to pitch some of the players to other clubs. And I start realizing that my eyes were different than the rest. I started to help a lot of friends playing here in Norway to play in Malta. I have at least 3 or 4 players that I helped that I can look back to and say, really, I helped them to kickstart a career. And some of them, they actually had a really nice careers after that. And one of the other players, he was playing all over the Europe and just retired, played in Hong Kong, played in Albania, and was playing many countries in the top flight. And all of this wasn't for money. It was for my passion. And that's where I realized that I love doing what I do. This work is not for people who's not doing that for their passion and for their interests in small details. I basically started to show up in the tournaments where you have the national team qualifier, like it called Kretslag here in Oslo. There were players had to go those steps before becoming an under 15 national team player or under 16 national team player. That was the first base for me to go and watch and understand the level, and because that's the first priority everyone should do. Go to somewhere, some camps like this, so you can start to understand what kind of players in different positions and what level they already have. That's something you have to do while building your network, because the network is valuable only when you have a list full of reports or names. And when you have that along the way with your names and lists, this is where the network starts to become more respectful towards you and your work, and of course have some questions about what you see and who you are as a scout. You have to spend weekends early in the morning driving 2.5 hours, 3 hours to tournaments, to games, just to watch one player, and even that player maybe is on the bench and not playing more than 10 minutes or maybe not even a minute. Because those games, this is where you can network, you get to know with the right people, even someone that can lead you to the right people. And that was me. That was my strategy. And then I started to go to Marbella camps for the winter, when the Norwegian clubs, the young national teams, under 17, under 16, under 15 national teams, this is where you have the chance to present yourself and who you are as a person and as a scout, for example. My turning point before becoming the scout for the Moroccan national team was actually my big brother, who led me to a contact which were already with the national team. Without knowing, one of my players that I helped back in the days, he was suddenly in the under 18 national team. And then in the under 20. I'm not gonna say names now, but maybe in the future. But he has been a part of the first team for the national team in Morocco and already been participating, playing in the Champions Leagues. I started to connect more with the Moroccan community here back in Norway. And then parents start reaching out. They had sons and even daughters that they wanted to see if they were possible for the Moroccan national team. I started to become the face of Moroccan national team here in Norway. Because of the link my brother gave me, that made the chance bigger for them to reach the national team. Big turning point were when my friend, which now is the leading chef scout for the head of the national team and also based in Spain where he's doing a tremendous job, gave me the opportunity. He saw my work for many years. He saw me struggle. He saw me really doing a lot of things almost for free. This is where I landed a role as a head of Scandinavia Scouts, where I basically have the territorium of the Scandinavia, which I was super proud of and really thankful for to get the opportunity. That was right before the whole turning point of becoming one of the top football nation in the world. What it means to be a scout for the Moroccan national team is actually bigger than you think. It's not just football. There's more than that. It's about pride. It's about understanding your identity. It's more than just playing football. A typical day as a scout looks like this. You have to just track which players that are interesting to watch and then make a contact to the clubs. Either it's academy chefs or the coaches and have the right report and just follow each game every weekend and every game they are playing. Being a national team scout is not just about watching football. It's also about helping those young kids, giving them advice, what it takes to be a part of it. And if they are really close, then we are more open to help them, even advise them what to improve, to even come closer to the either under 15, under 16, under 17 or under 20 or even under 23 national team. It's all about communicating between clubs, the players, the families, and also the other scouts, my colleagues. That's all for this episode, and let me know in the comment section if there's something you want me to make a video of. Make sure that you press on that subscribe button to follow my next video, which I'm going to talk about a little bit about how to become an agent and how it is to be working as an agent. So thank you for now, and yeah, see you on the next video. Bye.